And if I could be half the dad he was, I'd be doing a pretty good job.
That's all for this edition of Dateline. We'll see you again Sunday at 9, 8 Central. And of course, I'll see you each weeknight for NBC Nightly News. I'm Lester Holt. For all of us at NBC News, good night.
This is NBC4 News at 11.
Now at 11, clearing the way to rebuild from Southern California's wildfire disaster. People returning to see what remains, thousands still without power, and some of our most vulnerable grateful to be going back to the place they call home. Good evening and thank you so much for joining us. I'm Kathy Barra. Today we learned who Mayor Bass is calling on to lead the rebuilding effort in the Palisades. We'll have more on that in just a moment, but we start with NBC4's Macy Jenkins live in Altadena, where residents from one nursing home are back for the first time in more than 10 days. Macy.
Hi, Kathy. Well, I spoke to several seniors tonight who say they're still reeling from the shock of such a quick evacuation last week. They said they were seeing the images from the Palisades fire on television and were shocked to see that there was another fire developing so close to home.
And I came out and there was a big cloud. It was horrible.
Seniors emotional as they recount the chaotic evacuation from Camellia Gardens Care Center in Pasadena last week in the midst of the Eaton fire.
It was tough. They got us up at 6:30 in the morning. It said, we're being evacuated. You know, everything's on fire. We're like, oh no, what's going on?
Just hours earlier, I was reporting 4 miles east in Altadena.
Michael, the wind has picked up so significantly, it's getting hard to stand. I'm going to give you an idea of where we are on Washington Boulevard.
Elderly residents forced to flee as embers whipped through the air and flames encroached upon 3 other facilities: Pasadena Park Healthcare and Wellness Center, New Wave Home Care, and the terraces at Park Marino.
Some of these patients appear to be in very severe condition. Another person, he was screaming that he couldn't breathe. It's hard for us to breathe, and we are standing and walking here.
Oh my God, oh my God.
I was in dispatch, I was dispatching, so I was looking through cameras, through the bus cameras, and I was just in shock.
Pasadena Transit General Manager Letty Ochoa says she got an emergency call from the city on Tuesday night asking to help get local seniors to safety. She turned to her drivers with a plea to head into the danger zone.
All of them. Which bus do I take and where do I go? Because this is our community.
Unable to see through the thick smoke, the buses drove bumper to bumper.
We literally went around the city that whole night, that whole morning, and picked up approximately close to 500 passengers. Yeah, seniors.
They took us to the convention center, but I could barely walk because my lungs were. We were just all in there, just there. Not knowing.
More than a week later, the Altadena sites remain closed and uninhabitable. But thankfully, Camellia Gardens is back open and ready for their seniors to return home.
How are you feeling now that you can come back to this place and it's not burned down?
It's time. It's time to get settled,
Grateful for the staff that got them out and the drivers who risked it all to take them to safety.
If we would need to do it all over again, we would do it in a drop of a hat.
Now, the seniors that were picked up from here at Camellia Gardens and 4 other facilities were eventually taken to different care centers throughout the Los Angeles area. Ochoa says she's happy to have helped at least some of them return here tonight. Reporting live in Pasadena, Macy Jenkins, NBC4 News.
All right, Macy, thank you so much. Today, more evacuation orders around the Palisades fire were downgraded to warnings, allowing some people to return home to see what is left. But there is no power for many. More humidity and no wind is helping firefighters get the upper hand. The Palisades fire is now 39% contained, while the Eaton fire is 65% contained. And we also learned today who Mayor Bass is tapping to help the rebuilding effort. NBC4's Darsha Phillips is live in Brentwood with that part of the story. Darsha.
Yeah, Kathy, we are here in Brentwood with one of the residents-only checkpoints where residents can show their ID and go back